Welcome to Mendezville Live. With something to talk about, here is Rudy Mendez.
What's going on, Mendezville Live? Just finished the Dallas Cowboys game. They lost. It was a tough game against the Seattle Seahawks. But I'll tell you what, though, Dak Prescott, oh, man, his numbers on that fantasy. I got him as my quarterback. What a great time. Good show today. We're going to learn some knowledge. I wanna comment on some things that have been going on Facebook that I saw. But before that, let's go and give a shout out to the sponsor for today's show. We're talking about World Finance. When life throws unexpected expenses your way, World Finance is here to help. Whether it's medical bills, car repairs, or child care expenses, a personal installment or title loan can help you take control and get back to the good things in life. Even if you have a low credit score or no credit score, they will help you get the money you need. Get started by applying today at their Mission location at 1600 North Conway, Suite A, Mission, Texas. They can take applications by phone at 956-580-4533, or you can visit their website at loansbyworld.com. They are accepting applications with matriculas, passport, or ITIN. You do not need to have a social to apply. All loans are subject to their usual credit underwriting policies. That is World Finance. A good friend of mine is a manager down there. I mean, he helps people out, get that money out. So highly encourage you guys to give them a call. Also, by For Life, Together Building People, we are the immune system company, independent distributor Rodolfo Mendez. You can find products at www.forlife.com/Rudy Mendez. I know I give that stuff to my kids. They enjoy it. It's nice, good stuff. We'll put a logo up there for you guys. So a few things before I bring in my guest. He is currently a UTSA student. Go Roadrunners right there. My flag for UTSA Roadrunners and my fraternity paddles that I earned or that were given to me. Pretty good stuff are my little bros. Nice stuff. Before we get into the show and we bring on the guest, some stuff on Facebook. I want to give kudos out to Miriam. I forget her last name, but kudos out. Good shout out. Way to get those candidates out. Way to get some candidates going, talking and talking about what their perspective is, what they want to do different for the community, for the district. Speaking of which, I need to do the same thing I'm doing, but for Sherryland ISD now, because, well, my vote is going to Sherryland School Board, and I need to figure out who I need to vote for. I plan on bringing Sophia into Sherryland next year after COVID, hopefully. And, of course, Levy will start pre-K. Well, no, I'll probably bring him on first grade, depending on the situation with daycare and all these other things. So I got to make sure I start bringing in some people from Sherryland and see what things they're doing well and what needs work to see who we need to vote in and vote out or whatever it may be here in the Sherryland area. I will say this, though. I was looking for it, but I couldn't find it. It was a post on their stipends, their coaching stipends. They increased their coaching stipends. They get like $2,200 or something. It's really nice. And I will say this, me as a voter, me as a taxpayer, I'm all for giving coaches a nice stipend. I think all junior high coaches should be getting at least minimum $2,000 for the smaller sports, and maybe for like the football or the higher numbers, participation numbers sports. I think those should be getting a little bit more stipends. Now, of course, with COVID, it's a little bit different, but if we're regular, I think, for example, football, I think all coaches should be getting $2,500. That's just me and my perspective, but we'll see. I get to vote for Sherryland, and kudos to Sherryland ISD for making sure that those coaches are getting paid very well. All right, enough about that. Enough about the politics and the school boards and Sherryland and La Jolla and all these things. And now let's talk about sports, some experience, some knowledge. I am very curious. I'm stoked to go into this young man's perspective and his mind and his experience and how he got there. Please welcome my former student athlete, now UTSA student. Hopefully he will be an alum and join the alumni. Alan Gonzalez. How you doing, Alan?
I'm doing good, Coach. Thanks for having me. How you doing?
Hey, I've been trying to get you on the show for a while, man. Thank you for. I know you're busy. Why? Tell the people why you're so busy. What's your schedule look like, man?
Look, man. It's been a tough times for everyone right now.
Yeah.
But I currently have two jobs. I'm currently unemployed at the UTSA Rec, and I also got hired as at HEB as a night stalker. So I work at night for around 8 p.m. to around 2:30 a.m. Come home, rest, wake up in the morning for class,
Yeah.
you know, uh, go to class, do what I got to do. And then I always try to be active, go to the gym, lift, run, whatever. And then I go to my second job. I go to the rec. There at the weight room, I a lot of cleaning, stuff like that. And then, yeah, man. And then I go to my other job, and it's just, I'm busy all
Oh
the
man,
time,
you're
man.
busy all day. Sounds
Yeah,
like you're
man.
busy all day. Well, because I used to work at the rec there at UTSA. I did intramurals when I
Yes,
was in
sir.
undergrad, and then I did facilities.
Okay.
I never worked with the fitness program, and then so I know your job. It's pretty cool, man. It's you get to make sure that the equipment stays the way it's supposed to be. Are people going in right now to work out? Are students going
Yeah.
allowed to go in?
Yeah, we're at a capacity right now. I believe it's 50% capacity still, but yeah, we make sure we that we're at a 50% capacity, and sometimes we got a line waiting to go in, man. Students are trying to
Really?
go lift. Yeah.
Yeah. So our students have like just so we know what is going on, because we're talking about opening schools, all across the valley, across the state. When people are at the rec working out, are they wearing masks or what kind of procedures do they go through before they're allowed to go in?
So we arranged the whole rack, the whole equipment. We made sure that every platform, every squat rack is 6 feet away
Mm,
from the other ones. And yeah, you gotta wear a mask at all times. They get on us, our managers and the
right.
upper class
Right.
that
Supervisor and stuff like that. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
right. So we got to make sure that every student is wearing their mask. Just to be cautious, man.
So
And make sure that
I'm assuming everyone. So even you guys as workers, you're all wearing masks.
yes, sir. Everyone has a mask.
And do you guys check yourself like a test, like your temperature and stuff like that, or is that
No,
part of the procedure?
no, that's not part of the procedure. We just
Mm.
make sure we got a mask and at that capacity at all times.
And I'm assuming you guys are wiping stuff down a little bit
Oh
more
yeah,
than usual.
constantly, man,
Yeah.
constantly. Yeah.
Yeah, I bet. Man, I'll tell you what, man. I loved working at the rec. I I miss going to work out. I'm under strict orders by my wife that I cannot go work out at True Fit here in the Mission area, but it's all good. I understand her concern she's a nurse,
Yeah.
but I'm glad that students are getting the opportunity to go work out over there. So it sounds like you have a busy schedule. Talk to me a little bit about. You're going virtual or are students going to campus?
I believe there's some majors that are in lecture right now. The kinesiology department, as I'm a kinesiology major, we're right now doing virtual online classes. So yeah, I got 4 classes and they're all online.
Oh, so you never step on campus to go to school then?
Nah, I just go to the
go
rec,
work?
just to
Yeah.
work and go lift and I come right back to my apartment.
So what's your major right now?
My major is kinesiology with a concentration in physical education. I'm also
Nice.
doing a certificate in coaching, and my secondary teaching is Spanish.
Okay, cool. Nice. I like it. Well, then I would tell you, seeing that you're in Spanish, I'm gonna tell you a quick story. How I got a Spanish major, right? So, just some advice for you. I don't know if you can or you cannot, but I would advise you to travel abroad, whether it's South America or Spain. Take some classes over there if that allows it financially. I know it's tough for everybody, but like you're saying, you're working all the time. But I go to back in the day. There was the computer. What are those things called? I forgot what are they called. The computer labs, right? So back in the day, we didn't have the phones. Like, you just go through the phone or the laptop. So we had computer labs. I'm sure they still have them, but they're not as used as they used to be. Mm-hmm. I go sit down next to one of my buddies, like, hey, and I tell him, hey, what are you looking at? He goes, yeah, man, I was in Spain. He starts telling me this story, right? Long story, awesome. I'm like, man, I want to do that. How do I do that? And he just goes to the website, click. 5 minutes later, I'm enrolled to go study in Spain. But then I had to go, but I have to go get a signature, right? I had to go get a signature from one of the advisors from the Spanish department. I have no clue what the Spanish department is. I'm I'm a business management major. That has nothing to do with me. But my buddy convinced me. Didn't even really convince me. He just showed me how to do it. So I'm going to Spain. So I go to the advisor. I'm like, hey, miss, you know what? I have this letter. I had already printed out all the documents. I'm like, I just need your signature. And she goes, why can't sign that? I'm like, what? I said, I can't go without you signing. Why can't sign that? I was like, miss, I already bought my plane ticket.
Whoa.
I already paid the money. Like all that was done within 5 minutes when I was with my buddy, right? Or maybe 10 minutes, a little bit longer, 20 minutes. Because, I had to book the flight and all these things.
Yeah.
And then I go, well, what do I? She goes, well, the only way I can sign it is if you declare to be a major or a minor in Spanish. So I'm like, well, what do I have to do for that? You just have to tell me. I'm like, I want a minor in Spanish. Okay. And then she signs it. So I was like, all right, I'm going to Spain, man. Those one of those things, right? Last minute. So seeing that you're a Spanish major, either way, that's a little story just so you could be like, hey, you know what? Maybe I should study abroad.
Yeah.
If you do get a chance, I know it's kind of hard financially and all these things with COVID and all that. So that makes it even tougher, right?
Right.
But it was a pretty good experience. So you're a PE kinesiology major. What kind of do you have a lot of the athletes in those classes with you?
I do actually. A lot of athletes are kines majors, and it's funny because I have a lot of. I mean, I made friends with them at the weight room, so I basically know a lot of athletes, and then having them for classes is just pretty cool. Hanging out with them and just helping each other out in class because. Man, they got an even busier schedule than I do because of work, going to the weight room, going to practice, all these meetings and a lot of times, I would help them out. I understand that being a student athlete is it's a big responsibility and it's pretty hard. So yeah, we would help each other out, and yeah, I would have a lot of athletes in my classes.
When you have those athletes in classes, is there a lot? I don't know. Is there some of them are small where you guys get to converse and exchange ideas or no?
What do you mean? Like,
because I remember when I did some of because before I got my master's at Indiana State, I took some at UTSA, and I had some athletes there in my classes, but they were in my master's work. They're a lot smaller once you get to your master's. I'm wondering, is it like that in the undergrad, or is it still like 100 students or 50 students, or how big are those classes for you?
Oh no, they're not that big. They're about maybe 40 students. Especially the PE classes. PE classes are not that big. Yeah, they're not that big.
So I guess what I'm trying to get at is, so when you have student athletes there, I'm assuming that most of those guys know that if they don't make it to the pros, they're going to end up going coaching.
Right.
Is the mindset very, is it serious or is it very chill in the sense of the conversations, the ideas, the teacher? What atmosphere, what does that feel like? Or is I
feel that athletes, most of them are not going to be pros, obviously.
Right.
But based on my experiences, I feel like they were not as engaged, in class for whatever factors that's going on, whatever reasons. So yeah, I don't feel like they were. I mean, maybe they were tired in class, but I feel that they're not as engaged in class as they're supposed to.
Right.
Maybe that's too easy for them, or they I don't know, man. Whatever is going on. Based on my experiences,
Right. And I guess, but see, the thing is, some of those classes, I guess for those that are kines majors, know that some of those are like the ones where you actually get to play and you exercise and you do stuff like that, right? So for them, it's like, man,
and that's nothing for them. That's
right, exactly. Yeah. So it's like, oh, come on, guys, I'm a collegiate athlete, and you want me to be doing some badminton or something like that, right? So that can be totally understandable in some sense, right? But that's interesting. So. Talk to us a little bit about, so we're talking a little bit about towards what you're going on through now. Let's rewind, kind of like in the movies. Let's take you back to, let's share with the viewers. So you're my 7th grade student athlete, and then you go, and then your 8th grade year, I had to go to Ann Richards.
No, I stayed at JD.
No, I did. I had to go teach. Yeah, I couldn't stay at JD.
Oh, right.
So I had you there. Remember that 4 game? That 4 game was pretty legit back in the day.
Oh, yeah. Man, I still remember, man.
You like that
I like
simple
that.
play, just 4
like
game.
that action.
Yeah. I stole that offense. Well, I learned that offense when I was doing my grad work at Indiana State. It was pretty neat. But so you go to Juarez Lincoln. What was that like being a basketball player at Juarez Lincoln High School?
Man, I remember going in as a freshman, and we had a pretty talented senior group. I don't know if you remember, and being a coach with Montalvo, it was a good experience, man. I had a lot of passion for the game. I loved the game, and just having the opportunity to play, it was good. I took advantage of it definitely. I cherish those moments. I still hold those moments with me, and I learned a lot, man. I feel like sports is it's like a microcosm of life. You know what I'm saying? You learn values in sports that you'll use in life after sports, after school. Whether you use those values in college or if you go work. Yeah, they'll help you out in life, man. So I learned a lot of things just by playing the sport.
Nice.
Things about life, and that still are helping me till today.
Yeah, I got you. So when you were a freshman, you played on the freshman team, JV, or were you on the varsity?
I remember starting a freshman. I played with the freshman team a few games. Then I moved to JV. That transition was a bit rough. Starting playing JV was a bit rough, and eventually I remember playing at least a game varsity. I played a game varsity as my freshman
as a
year.
freshman.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. So you're a letterman. So you're 4-year letterman, no?
Yeah, I mean, you can consider that.
Hey,
If that
hey,
one game counts.
Hey, that one game counts. You stepped on the court, it counts.
Yes, sir.
So that's pretty neat. So wait a minute. So talk to us a little bit. I'm interested in, because we need to understand what goes on in the mind of a freshman going to JV. What was that transition like? Did you feel the speed of the game was a lot faster, the same, tougher defense, bigger kids, stronger kids? What was that like for you?
Obviously, the pace of the game, just going from freshman to JV, the pace is a lot quicker, man. I remember my first game. I was like, whoa, like these guys are, the game is faster, and obviously the guys are smarter too, stronger and quicker. And I remember I was like, whoa, like it's different, So
Right.
it took me a while to figure it out and stuff like that. But yeah, that transition there's a big difference, definitely.
How did you cope? How did you manage to be successful at the JV level as a freshman? Keep going. I just got to make an adjustment. Tell us about that.
Yeah, definitely. I guess, man, I just had to step up. I had to practice, practice harder. Definitely compete and just what's it called? Adjust. I had to adjust,
The reason I ask you that, Alan, is because I had Adan Montalvo here, Coach Monty's, Coach Eric Montalvo's brother, and I was asking him how he had to cope with going from La Jolla High School senior, and then he had to go play with a team that made the NCAA conference tournament when he was a freshman. Yeah. And of course, he's a collegiate player at the time, and he goes, they're all faster. Everybody's quicker than you. Everybody's faster than you. So I guess that's when the mind comes in, and you have to start anticipating and thinking about strengths and weaknesses of the opponent, stuff like that. You know what I mean?
I guess start studying any advantage you could get, and makes a difference. Right.
So you go your freshman year, and then what was that varsity game like for you?
Ooh, I remember we played Donna High School at Donna.
Uh-huh.
And they had this big point guard. I think it was like 6'3", man. It was definitely a game that I will never forget, because I remember going in the game, and the fast break, here he comes, bam, he jumps it, man. I had never seen anyone dunk before in the Valley. Yeah. And in the game, I was like, man, whoa. And there as a freshman, it was just a
pretty good.
Yeah, experience. Pretty good, man. Pretty good experience.
So who was the coach at that time?
For me, it was Coach Montalvo.
The varsity coach? Cool. And,
yeah.
And your freshman and your JV coaches, who were they?
My freshman coach was Coach Garza from he's a special ed teacher he came from Roma. He played at Roma High School.
Oh, Aron. You're talking about Aron Garza.
Yeah, Aaron Garza.
Yeah.
Garza.
Okay.
And then my JV coach was Pablo Villanueva.
Oh, I see. Did Coach Garza ever tell you the story about or the did you have a car in a garage? You don't know that story?
Nah, I don't remember. I don't
We'll
think
keep
he told
that.
me.
We'll keep that one off camera. But he has this nice little analogy of a car in a garage. But hopefully, if he watches this, he'll chuckle a little bit just because of the memory. So then you're a freshman. You go to JV varsity. So I'm assuming your sophomore year you were straight up on the varsity, or you still had to be on the JV for a little bit.
No, sophomore year I played varsity since the beginning.
Nice. So give us from your aspect, your 3 years, you're a sophomore, you're a junior, you're a senior, you love basketball. What kind of grind or what kind of work did you put in during that time? What was your schedule like when it came to the preseason, during the season, and the off season, and then summer? There's 4 different seasons there.
Yeah.
Walk us through the preseason for you. What did that entail once you started school?
So you're talking about preseason like in summer or right when school
Well, let's
started?
start in the summer. Let's start in the
In the
summer.
summer.
What was your schedule like in the summer as a basketball player in high school?
Okay, in the summer, man, I always try to go in to open gyms and put in my work. Put shots up and hit the weight room, stuff like that. I also try to play as in a lot of tournaments. Our coaches always enrolled us and told us to play in a lot of Edinburgh tournaments, the Vipers and all that stuff. So yeah, man, I remember I used to always go in, lift weights, shoot, work on my dribbling, stuff like that, and then I always play. I remember coaches used to always play. Invite their friends or
like for
alumni,
open gym and stuff like that.
Yeah. Just to play against older guys who are
competition.
experienced. Yeah,
I got you.
So yeah, man, I remember summers always consisted of open gyms, lifting weights.
So all day for you was basketball then during the summer.
Yeah, honestly, man, that's all I did. I played basketball, I practiced basketball, I watched basketball, and basketball for me was it's everything, even
Right.
till
So
today.
are you keeping up with the NBA finals right now?
Yeah, I am definitely.
Funny story is, as much of a basketball fan that I was and I'm a basketball coach and I like it, I have not watched a full NBA game
Oh,
in about
interesting.
2 to 3 years. I just don't like watching it. College I'll watch. Oh man, college
yeah.
I'll go out. But I watch the NBA and not to say that it's not good. It's just a personal thing that I just can't get myself through one of the games. But I've seen a quarter here and there. I'm like, all right, the usual norm. So, but I heard that some of those games are getting pretty good. But I'll probably watch the NBA finals, right? The championship games or the series.
You got to, man. You got to.
Yeah. So you made the play. When was the year that you guys made or you win in a play-in game or something? No. So wait, as a junior, did you make the playoffs?
We were tied for 4th place with La Jolla.
Was that your junior or your senior year?
Yeah, that was my junior year.
So at that point, that was when Coach Carrillo took over and Montalvo went to La Jolla?
Right, yeah.
Okay.
So we were tied for 4th place, so we had to play a little playoff game to decide who advanced.
The play-in game, yeah.
But it was basically like a playoff. We treated it as a playoff game, the mentality for us, it was like we were in the playoffs. It was a playoff game, It's win or go home, basically,
Right.
So yeah, I remember it was my junior year, and we played in a neutral site. That's what you call it, right?
Yeah.
It's like a
neutral site.
Yeah. So good experience, We ended up losing to La Jolla. It was a very close competitive game.
I was there.
And
it was a very close competitive game.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, and
good.
Tough loss.
Yeah, it was. How was it? Did it get easier for you in the sense of the pressure and the stress with fans in the game, or does it always stay the same?
I don't really think the fans as a factor for me. I always, just try to stay cool, calm, and collected. concentrated in what I had to do, and yeah, I never got distracted by the fans or anything like that.
Okay, nice. So how was your senior year?
My senior year, man, for me that was my senior year was my best year statistically for me. That's when I played my best ball. We didn't make the playoffs. It was tough, played against tough competition, played in a tough district, but I definitely had a lot of fun, man. Memories that I built with my team and the coaches, things I learned. It was good, man.
Let me ask you and rewind on this just so we can kind of maybe you can give us some advice from your perspective. Is if you could be able to do everything all over again and pretty much keep it very 99.9% about exactly the same when it comes to the basketball, are there any little things that you would have done differently, or do you think maybe, or how about this? When did you start playing basketball? In seventh grade?
Seventh grade.
Seventh grade. What about your elementary years? Did you do a lot of basketball in elementary PE?
Nah, not at all, man. I loved sports. I was always an active kid playing outside, but I never, worked on basketball. I never just, practiced on my dribbling. I just played, man. Just as a kid.
Okay, so you got introduced to basketball during elementary, just playing around.
Just playing around, man.
Yeah,
not organized basketball. Just having fun. Here's a ball. Go put it in the hoop.
Yeah, I got you. I see. And it's more of we're trying to figure out what we can do locally from Roma all the way to the Bronzeville, what we can do to help you guys out besides just your parents. And I understand that those areas that have parents that start since kids that they were 4, 5, 6 years old or second, third grade, well, they're at a big advantage.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So my thing is what we as coaches can do to help you guys out during the 30 minutes that we have you, right? So that's my biggest thing. I know me personally, I try to push in sixth grade. We have a nice window of a lot of structured basketball, from dribbling, layups, teaching, jumping, running faster, technique, a lot of signs that we'll get into right now with your experience at UTSA, and we'll exchange ideas or experience that we have. Just to let you know, Coach Perez, you remember Coach Perez?
Yeah.
Yeah,
he was
we've
my
talked.
coach.
We've talked, and because me and him and a number of other coaches, we always get in the discussion of what sport makes a better athlete, right? And I'm a believer in basketball makes a better athlete than what a football program does, right? And of course, everybody has their pros and their cons and their own opinion. But he was always a believer that you should have been playing football for Juarez Lincoln Huskies and you should have played safety. He says, as a matter of fact, check this out. Watch. There he goes. He commented right now. He's watching. Say what's up to Coach Perez. Coach Alonso.
How you doing, Coach Perez? He was my sixth grade teacher and my football coach in middle school.
Yeah. So he always believed that you should not have just played basketball. You should have been a safety for the football program and then played basketball. So, but you chose basketball, whatever it might be. I know Juarez Lincoln has a big culture of soccer.
Oh, yeah.
So that's big. How was it? How did you end up at UTSA?
Man, let me be honest with you. When I was in middle school, I looked up a lot to you and your brother, Coach Adolfo Mendez, man.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
You guys were like role models to me, and I remember, me and my buddies, just listening to y'all about y'all's experience and all the opportunities that presented to y'all, and yeah, man, just me looking up to y'all, basically. Just I wanted to go to UTSA. I wanted to go to the same school y'all went to.
Man, I must have done a great job telling those stories.
Yeah,
I hope it was pretty cool, man.
It was, man.
I will say this, though. If I am, and me and my brother are a little bit of the reason that you not only chose to go to college, but the fact that you ended up at UTSA, I hope it's paying off. I hope you're having a great time. I hope it's nice for you. And because if that's the reason, I hope I didn't mess it up for you either. You know what I mean?
Man, I've had a ton of opportunities, man, and we'll get to it later on.
All right. So your senior year, okay. So in your mind, at what point do you say, I'm gonna go to college. I know I'm going to college. When did that hit? Was
Okay,
it
man.
junior
Well,
high, high
ever
school?
since I was little, man, thanks to my mom, my mom
Yeah.
always started into me and my sister that, you guys are gonna go to college.
Mm,
They sacrificed a lot for us,
right.
for me and my sister, and she always told us, man, you and your sister are gonna go to college. So I grew up knowing I was going to college. It wasn't even man, I don't know if I'm gonna
It
go to
wasn't a
college. I
question.
always
It
knew
wasn't a
it wasn't a
question.
question, man. I knew I was gonna go to college since the beginning.
So your sister's older than you or younger?
My sister's older than me. She's I believe she's 23. She graduated from Texas A&M.
Oh,
She has her
nice.
master's degree, and she just got hired to be a teacher at La Jolla this year. So
Really?
yeah,
That's pretty cool. So wait, she's an Aggie?
she's an Aggie, man.
Oh man.
Yeah,
Órale. College Station, huh?
yes, sir.
Interesting. Nice little area there. Not bad. Well, that's good, and it's important that you share that with us in the sense that your mom instilled in you that you were going to go to college and then you just had to pick and choose. So did you graduate in the top 10% or did you graduate with any hours? How was that for you as a student from before you got to UTSA?
Well, the hardest Lincoln, I was given the opportunity to took a lot of doing Roman classes.
Mm,
So I graduated with about 18 hours of college credit. Most of my basics, I got it done with doing Roman, and that's something that La Jolla, gives up the opportunity that La Jolla gives out, and I took advantage of it, man. It not only helped me with time, it also helped me, with money,
no, for
financially.
sure.
I didn't have to waste the money in my basics. So yeah,
Yeah, that's nice, man. That's awesome. So La Jolla gave you that opportunity to get 18 hours, which is
mhm.
really good, that dual enrollment.
Yes, sir.
What other? So I had a buddy of mine now that he does recruiting, and he helps students go through financial aid and other things to go to college. What kind of help did you get along the way, making sure that you applied correctly, or did you do that? You filled out your FAFSA. How did that work for you, your junior
Um,
senior year?
uh, just the advising center, man. I remember as a junior and senior, going there and those teachers really helping me with the process of applying and applying for FAFSA and all these colleges, making sure that I was on track to meet all those deadlines and stuff like that. Those advisors in high school really helped me through that process.
Nice. Do you remember some of those teachers or counselors or anything like that?
Man, I really don't remember.
That's all right. You're a
Yeah,
student. Your mind is
yeah,
very
man.
different. Don't worry about that. But the point is that there were people out there at Juarez Lincoln helping you
Oh,
out to make sure you made it.
oh, definitely, man. They were always, they were always just there. You just had to ask for help, or you had to just go in the room and say, hi, I need help with this, I need help with that, and they were always more than happy to help you out in that aspect of it.
Well, that's
Process.
good. I'm glad. I'm glad they helped you, and I'm glad. So, are you getting financial aid right now or no?
Well, this year, due to some financial struggles that's going on, and I didn't receive a lot of money, but thankfully I got this job and I'm
Right.
working and I was able to pay all my school myself. So I'm pretty proud of that. And
For sure,
yeah,
man. That's
yeah,
awesome.
yes, sir.
So, when you graduated, did you graduate in the top 10%? What was your GPA like?
I didn't graduate in the top 10%. I graduated top 15%. I just
Mm,
I just missed the
the
top ten
mark there,
percent.
yeah.
Yeah, but I did. I was more than happy to graduate with those 18 hours of college credit, and I was satisfied with that. I was more than happy to graduate with those honors
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
I feel so and that's good. I mean, that's awesome. So now so you graduate high school. Now let's
Yes,
get
sir.
to the 2 to 3 weeks of before you get to school. Like what's going on through your mind? How do you get to school? How do you get to UTSA? Where are you living? What kind of process did you go through?
Yeah, I was lucky, to have this buddy of mine, Jay. I don't know if you remember Jay. He was your
I
your
remember
athlete as
Jay. I
well.
remember Jay.
So we basically did all this together, man. We had each other's back. We went to orientation together. We decided to live together, and right now he's an architect major. He's
Nice,
doing real
nice.
good, man. He's busy as well. He has a lot of more work than I do in school wise, but we were always there for each other, man. We helped each other out and we came here. We decided to live in an apartment, me and him, my freshman year, and yeah, man, we just went from that.
Nice. So then I guess that's got to help a little bit, seeing that you have a buddy of yours. You know, you get to you're not. I guess there's that fear factor that comes with it, but because you have somebody there, you know, you guys go through it together and get to talk about it and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I'm
man.
assuming
It wasn't as bad because we were always together and
apartments
we
or
went through
somewhere
everything
else?
together. Apartments, yeah, right across campus. So we basically live here on campus, man. But
Oh, you're talking
it's
about
not
the ones right
considered.
across the street from University Oaks?
Yeah, right. The outpost,
The
right across.
outpost. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that. I went and played basketball a little bit back in the day when it had just been
They're at the courts.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. We run that. We run those courts, man.
Woo! Hey, so you get to UTSA. Explain to us how in the world you end up working with the UTSA. What is it? Strength and conditioning?
Strength and conditioning.
Give us your story of how you what happened that you end up there.
It's pretty crazy, man. So before I got to college, when I received my financial aid, I got the opportunity to work study.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're familiar with work study, right?
Yes, sir.
So here I am. I'm still over here in the Valley. I'm still, getting ready to move out and everything. Here I am looking for a job, work study. I'm applying everywhere. And here I come across this application. I wasn't really too sure what it was. I just saw, athletics, weight room, stuff like that. So I'm like, hey, that fits my my personality. That's me. So I applied. Sure enough, I get an email back for an interview, phone interview, man.
And you're in the Valley at this point in time.
I'm in the Valley. Yeah, I'm in the Valley. I'm not gonna lie, the interview was tough, man. I wasn't prepared for the interview, man. They were asking me questions like, what do you think is the most important exercise for an athlete? And I'm sure I didn't give the right answer. I wasn't too smart. I didn't know a lot about that yet. So, man, I remember after the interview ended, I was a little bummed out. 2 days later, I get an email saying I didn't get the job, man. It was very tough. It was tough. And I remember talking to my mom about it. I was like, Mom, I didn't get this job. I'm sad, stuff like that. And she's like, man, don't worry about it, man. If it's meant to be, it's meant to be.
Right.
So I was like, you're right, Mom. So I kept applying, kept looking. About a month later, I got a call from the coach, Coach Jenkins. At the time, he was the assistant director of the Strength and Conditioning Center. Right now, he's in charge of the personal trainers at the rec. I still keep in touch with him. He's a good guy. Right. Gives me a call. Hey, man, you still need a job? I'm like, hell yeah, Coach, I still need a job. So, he sends me out all this information, and I get hired, man. And I go to campus first day. I still wasn't sure what I was getting into. They gave me the room number, everything. Man, I walk into the Strength and Conditioning Center, seeing athletes there.
Was that is that at the dungeon?
No, that's at the P building, right across the Convocation Center.
Okay. Yeah,
it's called the Physical Education Building. It's kind of like it's like a basement.
Yeah, well, my generation, we call that the dungeon.
The dungeon. Okay, my bad.
It's okay. I understand. For you guys, it's called the PE building. I got it.
Yeah. So we walk in, and man, I'm just shocked, man, seeing all this. I didn't even expect all of this, man. And man, I got there, and they started teaching me all these workouts, because this is their thing. If you're gonna coach something, you gotta be able to know how to do it, man. How are you gonna, be how are you gonna be preaching something you don't know how to do?
Right.
So first thing I do is they're teaching me all these Olympic workouts and stuff like that, and I pick it up, man. I start lifting by myself. I start learning, start picking brains, and I remember my first semester there. I think I worked with the cheerleading squad and the baseball team. I was in charge of those two teams. And man, it's just an awesome experience, man. Just being with Division I athletes, being around them, seeing what they do in the weight room, and then just practicing that myself. I was basically, working out as a Division One athlete.
Right.
It was just a great opportunity, man. I learned lots of things, and I had a lot of mentors that just taught me a lot of things.
Let me touch base on something, and for the viewers that are watching, is let me write this down right now before I forget, because I'm gonna ask you about it. And sometimes I forget to ask. Is one is the network part, and the other one is comparison. Here we go. So when it comes to networking, Alan, for example, you apply, and this goes to a lot of people. You apply at UTSA and you apply to the strength and conditioning program, right?
Yes, sir.
That that should have been either you should have contacted. I mean, it still worked out for you, but and that stuff you always want to make sure you contact either Coach Mendez, Adolfo Mendez, or you contact me or someone that has an in with the university just to give you a little, hey, you know what, give this guy a listen. They interviewed you either way, so I guess it didn't matter. But
Right.
sometimes a phone call to make, hey, at least give him an interview. Because I'm a believer in, I will always vouch for someone and give him the opportunity to the interview. After that, that's on you.
Yeah.
I mean, you still got the interview, which was good for you, but that's what we call networking, right?
Yes, sir.
That way they're like, hey, because I could have called. Remember, I worked at UTSA before I went down there or
Yeah.
came down here. I would have been like, hey, make a phone call. Hey, can we just get Alan Gonzalez, give him an interview, give him a chance, and then after that, you make your own decision. But thankfully, you still got it, right? So that's
Definitely.
good.
Yes, sir.
That's just for the viewers, for young athletes or young students, networking. It's not, I'm going to call and say, give this guy a job. It's more, give this guy the opportunity to interview.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I call, for example, one of my buddies right now is David Burnett. He's a collegiate track coach at North Texas, right? Denton.
Yeah.
And I will not pick up the phone to tell him I got a student that's really, unless I really think that student will put in the character of it, the morals, the responsibilities, not just athleticism, but everything else that you need to be successful with. Because then if I keep calling everybody for every student that's good athletically, well, wait a minute. I don't want them to make my personal opinion of them and mess my connections with the collegiate coaches.
Definitely.
So the comparison, I want you to compare from what you've learned to the workouts you did in high school. How different are they? Are they a lot better? Were really close? What was it? What? Give us that.
Well, it's similar, coach, but
Similar?
here's the main difference. The technique, that the detail to the Olympic exercises that they perform over here. They coach him in great detail, and it's important. It's important to make sure you perform these exercises, this very quick, explosive exercises, the right way, so that you benefit from the exercise, and second, so you won't get hurt. And I remember, doing power cleats in high school, but not the correct way, not with the proper technique, and so that's basically the big difference, coach. And something they preach over there is you got to do it right. You got to do things right so that you can fully benefit from whatever you're doing, not just exercises. You got to do everything right. And
all right, give me a run through of I'm your student, I'm your athlete, you're my trainer. I say, hey, Coach Gonzalez, guide me through what I need to go through a power clean. What does that sound like?
Okay, so basically, you want me to coach you, right?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, definitely, man. So first of all, your grip on the bar, thumbs away from the rough, starting, butt down. Make sure your back is tight, big chest, starting. And we're gonna perform a hand clean here, all right? Start with pick it up, you big shrug. You always want to start with the shrug. Once you got the bar off the ground, arm straight. Here's where most people go wrong. You're supposed to hinge instead of a squat. There's a big difference between hinging and squatting. You know the difference? So a hinge is kind of bring your hips back instead of bringing them down, which that's a squat. You know what I'm saying? So once you hinge, and once the bar is touches the top of your knee, that's when you explode. You keep the bar close to your body. You shrug, finish on your toes, jump, and get under the bar. You know, it takes a lot of time. It's
So
a lot of
that's
detail.
that right there. That's the whole movement right there for the power clean.
Yeah, basically, and it has to be in one motion. You know, one quick motion. Um, it takes a lot of practice for you to get it right because it's a hard movement. But once you get it down, the benefits of it's just just great. You get faster, you get quicker, you jump higher, explosiveness basically.
Oh man, the power clean.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what though. Over the course of my few years of knowledge and researching, I mean, man, there's just that power clean, that deadlift, man. Those are just foundation, bro, right there.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
What else? Who else have you worked with down there? What other teams?
And in the strength and conditioning center, I worked with every team except the football team. The football team has their own strength and conditioning coaches. But I worked with the baseball team. I worked with the men's, women's basketball team, golf team, cheerleaders, tennis, every team basically.
Man, I'm gonna need your advice after this live. I just picked up golf. I need to get into golf, man. I'm terrible. I'm golfing in the 100s, man.
Me too, man. I'm terrible at golf.
But I picked it up. I just got addicted to it 5 weeks ago. So I bought clubs. I got a nice, collection there, whatever it might be. But so is there a big difference in the sense of the way athletes work out and the way the training is set up for them?
In the weight room, it is, coach. It's the energy, man. It starts with the energy. Coaches, are very energetic. Once you walk in the building, there's an energy around that. You walk in and it's strictly work, man. No bullshitting around. It's you go in, you got about 45 minutes to get this workout in. They're screaming. There's noise, loud noises. The music is blasting. The environment is
amazing. That sounds
amazing,
awesome,
man. Yeah,
that sounds awesome.
There's screaming going around. It's cool, man.
So, how many years did you do that for?
I did that
since your freshman year. You've been doing that.
I did that for 2 years. I did that my freshman year and my sophomore year.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
So what is it that before we go into that, I want to see your remarks or what your perspective is, because I've texted you in the past. How often are the football players at UTSA good at basketball?
Ooh, I say about 70% of the football players, played basketball.
So they
and
can
I
all
see them at
they
the
can
rec.
all ball up. They can all ball up.
And I work with the intramural sports program, and they had about three different teams, registered to play ball. The football players.
Right.
And man, it's not fair, man. It's not
fair.
What is
that like, man? That's gotta be awesome.
Yeah, man. You see these guys doing windmills over here in the reg against just regular students like me. Man, it's not fair, dog.
So when you're talking about the football players are playing basketball, the reason I say that is because one of the wishes, my own personal wish, is that I believe that all the basketball players that are football players, if you're a football player, I highly believe that once football season is over, your schedule, your athletic period schedule, should go to basketball because of the movement, the fact that you're going to be going through the mental stuff in a game. You're challenging both the mental capacity of making live game decisions instead of taking those 4 months off and just working out. Research shows your body will perform at a very higher level when adrenaline and game situation is on, compared to we're just going through practice or we're just going through the workouts, right?
Right.
So that's why I'm like, I personally think that all the football players that play basketball should automatically be transferred over to basketball class. from your experience of what you've seen, am I way off or am I onto something?
I haven't really, covered that topic a lot myself, but I would agree with you, man. It all makes sense. Basketball is sports a sport that requires a lot of um, footwork, explosiveness. So I'm with you on that. I feel that instead of just being in the weight room out for I don't know how many months straight, and them being in basketball competing and running up and down, I feel like it will benefit them more
Right.
as well. But I'm not too sure about it. But
Right. It's just
yeah,
from our own perspective. There's no
yeah,
right or
own
wrong.
perspective,
There's
right?
no right or wrong.
Exactly.
It's just from what you've seen. And that's why I wanted to know how many of those football players can ball up. And you say 70%. So when you talk
7%,
about
man.
those 30%, are you talking about, are they linemen that don't play or who are the guys that don't play?
Well, honestly, I've seen big man at the rec too, man. I seen big man hooping, running up and down. So
Yeah, that's
I say
nice.
that 30% is just them not liking the sport, in my opinion, instead
Right.
of them just not being able to play. I've seen big men run up and down the floor like it's nothing.
Right. So, and that's my thing. And I guess that's why I wanted to ask you about that and, share my perspective and see what you thought about that from what you've seen as a collegiate strength and conditioning. What is it? Not an internship, but it's more what the work study.
Yeah, it's more like work study. Yeah.
Yeah. So you've seen how coaches approach a collegiate program. You've seen how athletes lived in a collegiate program. How is that for you when you were doing those workouts?
Well, it was good, man. It was a good experience. Like I said, I had to practice that in order for me to coach it, because I had to coach it to these athletes, and I had to know what I was coaching. So me learning and working out with these coaches was just basically everything for me. I started learning, and I started benefiting that too myself, because I never stopped playing. I keep on playing, and
Right.
I noticed that I jumped higher. I noticed I got quicker. I got stronger, man.
Yeah.
And I just saw the results myself. So yeah.
What is the biggest difference in those results? If you were to
Physically,
pinpoint it. Yeah.
physically, I got stronger. My maxes just 20 pounds went up.
Really? Well,
Yeah.
you're maturing too. You're
Yeah,
getting as you
I'm
get older, you get
developing.
stronger. Right. So when we talk about UTSA and that stuff, how walk us through. It's because the reason I'm gonna ask you this is because I went to the NCAA. The Final Four was in San Antonio. What 2-3 years ago, right?
Yeah.
So they had a strength and conditioning for basketball programs, and they had they had the Michigan coach there. They had some really high end coaches, and the LSU. There was the guy from LSU, man. I'll tell you what, man. He shared his program. I was like, wow. What does a week of a basketball? Let's just talk about basketball. What does that workout look like? Because they were starting to talk about the push, the pull, and the leg day. 3 times and then 3 times again over.
Yeah.
And then of course you got the full body every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Different the bro, what they call the bro. I don't even know what they call the bro something. Guide us through what it looks like in a week of the workouts for the basketball program.
Well, every coach is different. Every strength coach is different, right?
Okay.
They got their different programs. They have each have programs, coach, and they make this program themselves. Here's how it is. I'm gonna go a little off topic, but
No,
I'm
go
just
ahead.
gonna talk to you about the programs. So they make this program, right, with workouts, the main lift, which is squat, bench, and stuff, and then all these other
the compound lifts, the traditional
yeah,
compound lifts.
exactly, and then all these accessories and everything else, and they get their max. That's how the program starts. You got to have their max of each athlete. Then you plug in, the max into this Excel sheet where they have their program, and then bam, Excel gives you like all the sets, and all the reps and all the weight they have to do for a whole say a 6 week program. So
Nice.
that's how they do it. It's really the Excel really does all the math and all the equations, and that's how that overload training comes into work. So you go by week 1 and
Oh, so now you're talking about progressive overload. Is that what you're
yeah,
talking about right now? Okay.
exactly, yeah, progressive overload. You do the weight that that Excel sheet tells you to do that program, and you keep on adding the weight, getting stronger week by week, doing all the reps, and by the end of the program, you max out again, and that's when you see the results. You know what I'm saying? So every coach has a different program and different workouts. But yeah, my first year I worked with Coach Dudley. He was in charge of the basketball team, and his workout was a lot different to what the new strength and conditioning coach Wood. Is they're different. The Coach Dudley was more old school, more traditional. He was more like, how to explain this, more old school. So his workouts were different than the new coach. So yeah, my point is that every coach has different point of views and different programs for their athletes and stuff like that.
So can you can walk us through some of the some of the stuff that the new coach did?
Okay, so you obviously want to start with the main list. You always start with either, if it's bench or squat or power clean, hand clean, snatch. You start with those main lifts which require more energy from your body. So that's what you're doing first. So you can bang bang bam, get it out the way.
Right.
And then you go. Well, usually there's 2 main lifts. That's what they call them. Whether it's a bench or squat, power clean, snatch, stuff like that. Then you go to the smaller accessories and stuff like that, which you can go. Say you power clean and squat. You do those workouts first. Then you go do a push press, and then so you did shoulders already. So say you do maybe curls and triceps at the end. They always do like the small things, the things
that's a full body workout right there in one day.
Yeah, and that's basically what they do. They go full body most of the time.
Every day?
Not every day, but they don't go with today is only going to be back and chest. No, they go explosiveness first, and then basically full body. They go full body. Most of the times, coach.
But
honestly,
it just depends on what body part they're going to focus on. The compound lift, explosive strength.
Yeah.
And the other one's a lot lighter, I'm assuming.
Yeah. Stuff like that. It's really and I have workouts I haven't saved somewhere.
But you have them.
I have them. I have them and I kept them, and I'll eventually
really
use them.
Yeah. You'll use them when you get to the high school or junior high level, whatever it is,
Yes, sir.
Nice.
But one thing that I learned, I used to always ask questions to these coaches, and for high school, since I want to coach high school, obviously, as a high school student, your body's still developing, you're still growing, and you don't need a program like they use to coach in high school students for the reason that their body's still developing.
Interesting.
So what they told me is all you gotta do is teach them proper technique, and they'll get stronger if they just do it right.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter, you don't have to have a program that you gotta keep adding weight and max out every 6 weeks like they do. You just gotta do it the right way, proper technique, proper form, and they'll get stronger. They'll eventually get stronger.
Interesting. That's interesting stuff. Cruz Mendoza wants you to send him some workouts.
Oh, I will. I definitely will. I'll hit him up.
Here, look. Let me post it up there. There he is.
My guy.
Yeah. Was that Cruz the one the point guard or one of the guards? Is that him?
Yeah. He graduated a year. He's a year younger than me. He graduated in 2018. Okay. I graduated 17.
I got you.
Good guy, man.
Yeah. It's interesting you mentioned that stuff about the workouts because I was watching this one guy. I'm gonna have to send you a link. I want you to watch this guy. He was talking about how progressive overload. You know, if you're into the weightlifting and stuff like that, you understand progressive overload, right? Every week you add 5 pounds or whatever you can.
Mm-hmm.
10 to 15 reps or whatever it is, and the muscle gets stronger. And then he was talking about something. He goes, in Eastern Europe, and in his research, they were like, no, what we're going to do is we're going to stay at the same weight for 2 to 3 weeks, just increase the volume by doing more reps.
More repetition.
Once you get, more reps, 4 sets of, let's say, 4 sets of 10 reps. And you're not going to point of failure, right? You're just going 4 sets of 10 reps to where if you were to do 12 or 13, then you'd get to point of failure. So he goes, okay, that means you do 10. So for a week, you're doing 10. And the next week, you hope to get to 12. And the next week, you hope to get to 15, right? Remember, with avoiding point of failure. So he goes, once you get to 20, then we make the jump. But instead of making a small jump, the way progressive overload does, according to their research, now the 3-week jump is a lot bigger than what regular progressive overload would do. I was about to start trying that on my own body because I'm a believer in what you said or what you got taught is if you're going to preach to the students, well, you got to be able to do it yourself.
Exactly.
Right? So that's me. Not everybody's like that, and that's okay. I'm not saying I'm right. That's the way I am built mentally. If I'm going to tell kids to work out, I need to be able to do some of the workouts.
Yes, sir.
Either way, I was about to start because I had been doing progressive overload for about a few months, and it works. I mean, man, I wish I would have done that when I was back in high school, when I was in my 20s. What a great time.
Back in the heyday.
Yeah, back in my heyday, man. I mean, geez, I didn't know these things yet, right? But
Yes,
then
sir.
again, the research wasn't there. I was about to start doing this new, I don't even know what it's called. I gotta watch that video again.
This program, I guess you can call it.
Yeah, some program. I was gonna start doing that, but then COVID hit. My wife told me not to go to the gym anymore, and the spike here in the valley. So it's still up in the air. Hopefully, I can get back to the gym in the next 2-3 months, and I'll keep you posted. But I'm gonna have to send you that video, man. It's pretty good.
Yes,
So
sir.
now what, Alan? So you're working. So okay. Wait a minute. So you did that for 2 years.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay, so my last semester at the Strength and Conditioning Center, I worked with the men's basketball team.
Okay.
So, all their assistant coaches and coaches would always go, see their athletes lift, and I would shake their hands. I would say hi. And there was this one day I heard him talking about a summer camp for kids, their annual summer camp.
Yeah.
And just me, just loving basketball and just wanted to coach. I saw that as a good opportunity to ask him and say if I could, volunteer or help out in whatever way. And yeah, he said, man, come by my office, come talk to me, and we'll figure something out, right? So that's how I started my way more into. I started, going to practice to the men's basketball practice, and that's how I started helping them out little by little. Started rebounding, started, just helping out in whatever they asked me to do, man.
Right.
I just wanted to be a part of something. I was just trying to learn. So sure enough, summer comes around and I got the opportunity to be a manager for the basketball team.
Nice.
So man, I was more than happy to say yes. And unfortunately I had to leave the weight room just because I didn't get work study anymore. But man, just the opportunity to be with the basketball team was awesome to me, man. That's what I want to do. That's what I want to learn, man. So my junior year, the summer of going to my junior year, that's when I really started, helping out the basketball team, going to every practice, 6 a.m. in the morning, and helping them out. And it was one of the best experiences I've had so far in just my life, Coach. I've learned so much.
Run us through that. What does that look like for you? What are you seeing? What are you learning? From some stories that you might share with us.
So things I learned. Just kind of like skill work was my favorite thing to work with the team because I was more hands-on with them. I used to work with the bigs. So skill work, guards and bigs, divide, right, just like everyone does it. And I mostly work with the bigs. And it's funny, this is a funny story. Man, I'm a small guy. I'm only 5'5", 5'6", man.
Yeah.
About 50.
With what, 6'8", 6'9" guys?
6, 7 footers, man, 200 pounders. They wish to give me the pad, coach.
Yeah.
Here, hit him, poof, poof, poof. And here I am, 5'5".
That's gotta be
coach.
fun. That's gotta be fun.
And I have some pictures of that, and I would love to do that, coach. I used to finish, skill work all sweaty and stuff. It was just awesome. I would love it, man.
Pretty cool. Nice. So when you were waking up at 6 a.m, what was that for? Basketball practice or strength and conditioning or more weights or what?
No, that was the summer of going to my junior year. They would have practice at 6 a.m. Just basketball practice. And they had like a few hours a week to practice during the summer. The NCAA rules. So I remember it used to be at 6 a.m. I used to be the first one there, coach. Cleaning the floor, just showing that I really wanted to be a part of the organization of the program. Showing them that I really wanted to learn and I was willing to do whatever it takes to be a part of the team.
What are some of the pros or some of the great experience that you got from there besides being there and learning from the practices? Did you get to travel with the team every once in a while?
I traveled, and another funny story, man. I had never traveled through an airplane, and I got the opportunity to fly with the team. My first time was to Utah, to play Utah State, who at the time was ranked. I believe they were ranked about 20th in the nation. Man, it was my first time flying in an airplane. I was scared to death. But
did you get that pressure in your ears?
I did, man. I felt like they were popping.
Oh, it's terrible, huh?
Yeah. But a good experience, man. Just traveling with the team, seeing how the coaches, prepare for game day, how they, treat the athletes, pre-games, film studies. I was there with film study all the time. Great experience with coach.
What is the halftime speech or adjustments look like? Did it take you back to your high school days?
It did, coach. I felt like I was a player, man. I felt like I was a player, and I saw it in both aspects. I saw it as a player, and I try to see it as a coach too. I try to see it both sides of the coin, but at times I would just get lost listening to the coach, man. I felt like I was part of the game plan. Like, put me in, coach. I'm ready.
Which is awesome, man. That's a great experience, Alan. I'll tell you what. Yeah. The only comparison I had to what you went through is when I was at Indiana State and I was the team scout. I would run, offenses for the women's team. But I want to know more about or share with us in the sense of, you're watching the game. You're watching the game. You're a basketball guy. You have a basketball mind. When you go into those halftime adjustments, would you ever be like, okay, well, I think this is what he should do, or this is probably what they should do, or were you ever in those situations where you're like, oh, you know what, that makes sense, or I was right on point, or you're like, or would you just be like, okay, I just want to know what he's gonna say?
Most of the times, I wanted to see what the coach would say. And I would see things that, and I would say to myself, oh, I would do this, I would change the defense. I would go into zone, or I would run this play on offense, you know what I'm saying? And the other manager of mine, his name's Jason. He's from Waco, great guy, man, very, very intelligent, great basketball mind, super smart dude. And we would just talk sometimes after the games or during the games on situations that we would do or that we would think we would do differently and stuff like that. Just right. And we would just talk about the game and situations like that. And yeah.
Nice, bro. So where else did you get to travel?
I my first time was to Utah State. Then we went to Florida on we went to play 2 games. We played it was I have it right here. We played FIU and Florida Atlantic. It was we were there for like about a week, and we played 2 games. Yeah.
So now let me get so we were talking about when we started the show. We started about student athletes, how tough their schedule is. How tough was the traveling for you, and being a regular student? I mean, technically you're not a student athlete, but you're still part of the team. Yeah. Was that a little bit stressful for you?
Well, during that time, I traveled during December. So it was,
Oh, okay.
football starts, and during. So it was that time during the holidays. So thankfully we didn't have
Nice.
any schoolwork, man. So we were
Man,
just
so you just got to enjoy it.
basketball. It was just basketball, man. That's
Man,
all I thought about.
what a great time, Alan,
Yeah,
man. And this
yeah.
was last year or the year before?
This was this past December, December
Oh,
of
right
21.
before COVID.
Yeah, right before COVID. I remember we were in playing our conference tournament in Frisco. We were
Mm,
in our conference tournament when we played, and then right after our game, that's when everything shut down. We didn't even get to finish the tournament because
oh, that's right.
everything shut down. We were
That's
in
right.
we were in Frisco at that
There
time.
was no NCAA tournament this past
Yeah.
March, right?
Well, we had started ours, but
Right, but I'm talking about
the
the
madness, yeah,
64.
yeah, yeah,
Right, right. Because yeah, most of the conferences were taking part
shut
in trying to
down.
get in. Yeah, trying
Yeah.
to get in. That's right, man. Interesting. So then school shuts down, and now you. So when school shut down for you, you guys started going virtual in April, May.
Yeah, so that time it was our spring break when school
Yeah,
shut down. So we were still on break, and school decided to take an extra week of spring break so that they could, you know,
figure things out.
figure things out exactly.
Yeah.
And so once that week passed, then I went back to the valley and I started going to class there virtually.
So you finished off the spring semester virtually,
Virtually, yes, sir.
and now you're virtually again. You're working at HEB. You're
Yeah,
doing the rec center stuff.
yes,
How
sir.
how so we haven't touched intramurals. Did you ref?
Yeah, so during while I was a manager, I did that, just because I wanted to learn, kind of
Right,
like a internship.
right.
I didn't get paid for it, so I needed to make some money. So I decided to, start officiating at the rec. The first sport I officiated was indoor soccer. I like soccer, but I was more doing it just so I could make some money, man. To be honest, I
Right,
really
right,
just wanted
right.
to officiate basketball. So I officiated soccer, volleyball, and then finally basketball came, man. So we had to go to like basically class. So you got to go to class, and so you can learn about
Yeah.
officiating. So we had lesson plans, everything. So I went to class. It was a bit easy for me just because I've been around the game since 7th grade. So it was easier for me compared to other of my classmates. Yeah, and then we got to take an exam too. We took a open-ended exam, no multiple question, man. Either you know it or you don't.
Yeah.
You got a bunch of scenarios. You got to write everything down. Sometimes you got to write exactly what you got to report to the table. You know what I'm saying? Blue 55, block and foul, ball and baseline or shooting two, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, I passed. I was one of the highest. I had one of the highest grades on my exam.
Nice.
So I was pretty happy about that. And yeah, finally I started officiating, man. My first game, I was nervous as hell. Man, I didn't think it was gonna be that hard, man. I was so
Hey,
stiff.
can you please tell the audience how hard it is? It's not easy.
Man, it's not easy, man. Let me tell you. Like I said, I've been around the game a lot, and it's not easy. It's totally a different perspective, man. You gotta switch your mind from either a player, coach to an official. It's different. You really got to be on it. And then again, you make a call. People are in your ear, telling you blah 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 blah. You really got to be focused and confident. You got to be confident, man. That's probably the biggest thing. You got to be as an official. You got to be a confident person, and yeah, man.
So are you guys doing 3-man over there? 3-man mechanics or 2-man?
Yeah, 3-man. So we got
Nice.
we got our lead, we got our trail, and then our center.
Yeah, man. And my exposure to officiating was at UTSA. My mentor was Bob Hawk, and he got me into 3-man mechanics.
Yeah.
And I'm thankful that he did, because once I started reffing, we were reffing 3-man, and that's all I've ever known. I've done 2-man, but I don't do it very often.
Yeah.
I've always done 3-man since I started. My training has always been 3-man. And what you're talking about, the whole exams and the lesson plans, well, I've been on both sides. I was the student ref, official, and I was the intramural coordinator director. So
Yeah.
it's intense. I love intramurals, man. And I'm
Yeah.
glad you are participating. It was interesting. Who was I talking to? I think my last guest. Check this one out, Alan. Let's inform the viewers a little bit. So in the coaching world, I don't know how many are guilty of this, but to me, a regular PE class is the students that don't go ball up at 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, that don't go ball up in the intramurals. The regular PE student, I remember going to UTSA, and sometimes I would go on a Friday early to get a workout in, and I would see kids, the PE students that weren't as athletics, that's when they got to play their volleyball, their basketball. Do you see some of that still going on?
You mean like
At
kids
the
who
rec
didn't
center?
kids who didn't participate like competitive
Right, right.
in high school and stuff
Yeah,
like that?
they just go out there to have a good time.
Yeah, just to have fun.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw that a lot, man. As an official, I saw a lot of kids, they're not skilled. They just went, just to have a good time, just to meet people and stuff like that.
Right.
But let me tell you what, I feel that officiating those type of games, kids who are not as skilled as other players are harder to ref because the game's a little bit more out of control. Things, they're just flying around and it's not organized. You know what I'm trying to say?
Right. Yeah, they're a little bit all over the place, which
Yeah.
is understandable. But see,
Yeah.
because of my background, I always tell people that we have such a big, and I guess this is advice for you at the same time, since you're a Kines major, is, well, I mean, I don't know about the high school level, but at the junior high level, I always tell people we have such a big responsibility right now for our PE guys, because at least some of these kids in PE class right now are going to be those kids in college going to the rec center, whether they play intramurals or they're going to go play pickup ball amongst their friends.
Yes, sir.
I tell them we have a responsibility to make sure that they know a little bit.
Oh yeah, man.
If we teach them in 6th grade, we teach them in 7th grade, we teach them in 8th grade. Hey, they're gonna pick it up to where, like, hey, you know what? I kind of like playing. I'm gonna go to the park. When I get to college, I can play at the rec. And have that outlet. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Yeah, just to get away from things, coach. And I'm with you. I feel like those coaches should not just take their job lightly. I feel like they need to teach them.
I think most of. I'm not saying they don't. I'm just saying.
Yeah, right.
I'm just saying that because of I've worked at the rec center. I have that background understanding of the importance of it. You know what I mean? Not that they don't do it. It's just knowing the importance, because I've seen what the end road is.
Yeah.
Right. So I feel. So how often did you get those World Cup players that took soccer super serious, man?
Oh man, man! Every little call, man, they would get it. They would get on you. I was like, man, we're not in the World Cup, man. We're in the UTSA rec, but they take that serious, man.
You don't tell that to intramural soccer players, man.
No, man. They take it.
Don't.
They take it. They take it real serious, and it's real competitive.
Have you did you play or referee flag football?
I did not, man. That's that one sport I didn't. I had the opportunity. I went to the first lesson, but I had a lot of other things going on.
Yeah, you're pretty busy.
I didn't get the chance to.
So when do you grad? So okay, so we know your background, we know your knowledge, your experiences, your exposure to strength and conditioning, basketball. You have a busy schedule right now. It's virtual, so you're not doing you're not around it anymore, are you? Are you part of the basketball team again, manager, or what's that looking like for you?
Nah, unfortunately, I'm not. I'm not a part of it, and it's tough. It's tough being away from the game, coach. Let me tell you, I miss it. But unfortunately, due to the whole pandemic, it's changed a lot of, not just me, but a lot of people's plans and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So basically, they're just not taking in as many people, I'm assuming. Is that what the case is?
Yeah, exactly. And also, I'm also not a full-time student anymore. I'm only taking 9 hours because next year I'm only doing.
Hold on. You're freezing up.
Degree works.
Hold on. Start over. You say that again. You froze up a little bit. You were at the 9 hours, and then what? Next semester, what?
So next semester, I'm doing my clinical teaching already. I'm not taking any more classes.
So in the spring.
Yeah, in the spring, I'm doing my clinical teaching, and unfortunately, I'm not a full time student anymore, so I can't
Ah, I
participate
see what you're saying.
in stuff in all those extra activities, being a manager and stuff like that. But yeah, man, I'll soon graduate. I'm
So you're,
excited.
go ahead.
I'm excited for next semester. I don't know how things are gonna go out with the whole clinical teaching because of the whole pandemic. Is it gonna be
Mm,
virtual? Is it gonna be in person?
yeah.
It's a lot of question marks. But I'm excited, man. I definitely want to have that experience to be around the classroom and have a mentor teacher and learn, and so I could get ready for the future, man.
I bet. Yeah, no, for sure, buddy, for sure. So then you're scheduled to graduate in May then.
May 2021, yes, sir.
May 2021, Alan Gonzalez will be eligible to be working at and you want to work at a high school right out the get-go.
Yes, sir. That's my plan.
Nice. Well, I'll keep a good word out for you, man. And from your experience being around D1 athletes and big time D1 athletes,
Yes, sir.
what would you advise students that are in high school right now?
Man, I feel like honestly, it's extremely hard to get a Division 1 scholarship, coach. Like only about less than 1% of high school students go on and receive a Division 1 scholarship. It's extremely hard. So my advice would be, a lot of kids, it a lot of kids, have the mentality that in high school they're gonna go on and get a scholarship, and that's good. It's good. But let me tell you, at the end of the day, you learn other things in sports, like I said earlier about life, that are gonna help you, not in sports. So I would say take advantage of sports, man. Learn values that you're gonna learn and use after sports, because to be realistic, a lot of times you're not going to play in that next level. I'm not saying it's not possible. It's possible if you put in the work, you put in all the extra hours, and you can do it, man. You can. I've seen people do it. I got teammates that've done it. Gurus, Gersons, other
Mm.
students that they've put in the work and they play in the next level. But appreciate right now that you're in high school and playing sports. Go hard, man. Make memories, play hard, compete, and just enjoy the moment, man, and learn things that you're gonna learn and you're gonna use in life. Values, like I said, sports is like a microcosm of life. You know what I'm saying? And that's what happened to me, man. I wasn't able to play in the next level, but I was still able to be around sports, and be around athletes, and it's a good experience, man. But yeah, my advice is to enjoy the moment, guys. Work hard, compete. High school. By the time you know it, man, you're gonna graduate high school. And it happened to me. And learn, enjoy it, and yeah.
Hey, Alan, so great advice. And I'm with you. It's 100%. Just enjoy the moment. Have fun while you're in it. Uh, when you graduate, are you looking to stay in San Antonio, or you're like set on coming back to the Valley, or you're gonna apply everywhere wherever they accept you in San Antonio or in the Valley?
I want to go back to the Valley, coach. I feel that I grew up there. I got my family there. Being here has been a great opportunity. I've learned so many things that I want to take what I learned here and take it over there down south, to my community. You know, uh, learn from you coaches, and so y'all can learn from me too. And give back to my community too, coach. I grew up there. I love La Jolla. I love y'all. It's my plan is to go back to the Valley as of now.
I think we'd be very fortunate and we'd be very lucky to have you. We'll see if hopefully we can put in a good word for you. But like I said, I will always put in a good word for you in the sense of give him a chance to at least the interview. After that, that's on you and them. You know what I mean?
Yes,
Big
sir.
believer in that. But I will say I'm rooting for you, and I hope you do come back, because that was my mindset when I decided to go back to the Valley. Is like, hey, I gotta go share all this wealth of knowledge I have, this passion, this motivation, and stuff like that. So I see that in you, and hopefully you make it, man. And if you ever need anything, like I said, I think just make sure I'm a phone call away. Call me up, text me, and we're here to support you, man.
Yeah, I appreciate you, Coach. Thank you so much.
Hey, you got it. Hey, thank you so much for being on the show. I really, really appreciate your perspective and your feedback, man.
All right, Coach. Thank you.
Alan, take it easy. Have a good night.
You too.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Alan Gonzalez. Good student athlete, great leader, good discipline on his hands. Hopefully you noticed that from him talking to us. He's out there grinding. He has 2 jobs right now. He's trying to graduate, get out of there, come back to the Valley. If anybody out there wants to hire him, keep him in mind. Come the summer, whether it's La Jolla, Sherryland, Mission, McAllen school districts, or whatever school district that's in the neighboring area, I highly, highly recommend that young man. Great head on his shoulders and some great knowledge. And he's a roadrunner too, UTSA roadrunner. So go Roadrunners. That's for the show. Let's see. What am I missing here? Hopefully you enjoyed his insight. Before I get to the last closing remarks, let's go ahead and give a shout out to one of our sponsors is World Finance. When life throws unexpected expenses your way, World Finance is here to help. Whether it's medical bills, car repairs, or child care expenses, a personal installment or title loan can help you take control and get back to the good things in life. They can take applications by phone at 956-580-4533, or you can visit their website at loansbyworld.com. And also by 4Live, Together Building People. I am an independent distributor, Rodolfo Mendez, www.4live.com/Rudy Mendez. We are the immune system company. Also, I don't have him on here today, but vote for Adolfo Mendez. He is running for Agua Sud. Make sure come election. It's October 13th. It's right around the corner, October 13th. Get ready to vote. I know we had a thread, and we go to threads between the president, Donald Trump, and Biden. But I highly encourage everyone to make sure that when you do go to the polls, be informed of the local elections from school board, city, regional, the Congress, the Senate, the state reps, all those things. We as Americans need to do a better job of making sure that we're informed about voting for legislature and all those things. We'll see. It's getting hot here in the Valley in the local politics. I need to get informed about Sherryland school board. So if anybody knows any information, I need to make a decision on who I'm going to vote for. Come October 13th, 14th. We'll see. Shout out to all the candidates out there. I know it's stressful. You guys are busy every day. I know my brother shares some stories with me about how, not stories in the sense of, he just shares his timeline, where he has to be, where he's going, and it seems stressful. It's busy. I need to make my way out there to a few events. We'll see. But hey, you guys have a good night. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the show, and hopefully you guys can catch the second half of this Green Bay New Orleans game. Later, guys. You guys have a good night.